As someone who belongs to the poor class, let's try to apply the suggestions of these rich and privileged Filipino gurus about inflation to the poor class. Last month, I felt the kick of inflation while rummaging through my wallet to buy food. Almost all necessities, bills, and transportation went up. I need to budget things because of inflation. The Philippines inflation skyrocketed and it still keeps going up. It is not just bad, it is a nightmare for people like us. Let's discuss the advice given by the so-called financial gurus who keep flaunting their lavish lifestyles and belittling people who can't climb the ladder. Lo and behold, their golden advice on how we can all beat inflation. Because apparently, according to some of these financial gurus, we are the reason we are still poor. Don't you like it when this kind of people thinks so linearly? You can see how ignorant and privileged they are. Please keep in mind that this advice is a mix of Filipino and rich financial literacy influencers. I will not name them. Number 1. According to this influencer, the poor Filipinos should increase their income. I guess that is common sense in a way. Even without the current exaggerated inflation hike, I think Filipinos that belong to the poor class already wanted that and are working on it in the first place. It is easy for these rich influencers to say, given they don't go to regular office work daily and have their own businesses. Believe it or not, average poor Filipinos are trying their best to add income to their lives by accepting side jobs and selling things. As for me, I get my daily income by doing laundry and, as a side job, accepting graphic design work. Aside from that, I also try to sell even the little things I can sell, like candies or reselling frozen foods. I am not opposing what this rich influencer is saying or blabbering about, it is just that, in this day and age, I guess we all at least tried, or are still trying, to increase our income. The difference is that we can't invest thousands as you do on multi-marketing schemes, networking, or businesses. Belittling poor people and saying we remain poor because we are lazy and not doing anything shows what kind of mind and privilege you guys have. Number 2. According to this so-called expert, who comes from Chinese heritage, poor people should reduce expenses. Where should I begin? I do not want this to become a vent or rant, but I kid you not, try to go to poor areas and you will see how we only consume the necessary things and don't even spend on things you think we are spending it on. Sure, all families and people are different. The thing is, for a famous influencer like that, that advice is kind of a no-brainer. Lastly, another normal thing poor people do that they suggest to actually beat inflation is to track your expenses. As someone who receives a daily salary, it is a must to track our expenses. Now, applying it to the poor people, most of us do receive the payment daily or weekly. I guess these financial gurus are earning so much that they have friends or comrades who just buy cash impromptu and don't really track it because, heck, why would they? They are rich and don't even need to track that spare money in their wallet. So yes, that advice didn't really add to our knowledge on how to beat the current inflation. For me, the advice didn't really help or even help beat the inflation. Inflation comes from the whole economic status of a country. That is something you cannot beat even. Of course, their advice is deeply appreciated by their supposed followers. I guess they don't mean any harm in giving advice and such. It's just that they are so lost in reality already that they didn't even know that this kind of advice is not something that can beat inflation. To my fellow Filipinos, as we always do, we endure it.